Hi students, I wanted to create a video to go a little bit more in depth on the assignments this week for creating a cover letter and resume. Some of you might have a well-developed resume that you've been using for a while when you apply to jobs. Some of you might be very brand new to this and may not have a resume developed yet. Your assignment this week, that I'm actually giving you 2 weeks to do, is to create a cover letter and a resume that pertains to a particular job that is in the field that you may be interested in the future. It's really important for this assignment to take some time to really create a well thought out resume and cover letter. Trust me, you're going to use this in the future, especially if this is your first time creating a resume or a cover letter. At the end of this assignment, you'll have a really great document with some feedback from me so that in the future, when you are ready to apply for a job that you see come up, you'll have the document and you'll go back and make edits and perfect it to that specific job. And so this will be a really valuable assignment, so you have that in the future. So let me go down here for a quick minute and let me pull up the resume assignment. Not to mention it's 50 points. So this assignment is a very, there's a lot of worth for this assignment. And so what I want to show you, and there's some discussion as to why we're doing this assignment, and you can read this later on. But then there's a link to resume tutorials and resume examples. And so I want to make sure, especially for those of you who this is your first time creating a resume, through our Career Center, we have a lot of resume templates and examples. So you can virtually just go to those templates and examples and look at the samples and start crafting a resume that's very similar. Now keep in mind that for the purpose of this assignment, you are going to be finding a job posting that's related to a career that you might be interested in. So for example, if you're thinking about becoming a nutritionist or a medical assistant, what I want you to do is go online and look for a job posting in that field. Then I want you to craft a resume and a cover letter specifically for that job. So as you may know, or the textbook has indicated, and for each job posting or job application that you create, you should specifically tailor your resume and cover letter for that specific job. You shouldn't just have a generic resume that you send out to multiple jobs, because you really want to show the employer that you have very specific skills that match what they're looking for. So each time you look for a job and you see a job posting and you send out your resume, you should have spent a good amount of time tailoring that resume for that specific job posting. So your first task is to go out there and find a job posting that you may find of interest for the future. And so that's your first task. And it tells you here that you can go to certain websites like monster.com or Indeed, and then contact me if you're having trouble with this step. Sometimes certain careers, or certain job postings, I should say, are on certain search engines. Like if you want to become a teacher, they use a specific search engine for teaching jobs that you can't just find through the newspaper or Indeed or Monster. So if you're having trouble finding a job posting, let me know, because it could be due to the specific industry that you're looking for. Another place to look for jobs is sometimes the organization's direct website. So for example, if you want to become a nurse, go to Palomar Hospital's website and look for their job postings. Anything related to medical health field, specifically go to the hospital or the medical clinic's website, and they should have job postings there. But if you have trouble with that, let me know. Contact me and I'll help you through this process. Then you're going to craft or edit whatever resume you might already have, but craft and edit your resume for that particular position, even if you don't have direct experience just yet for that position. So for many of you, you might have some various experience. Maybe you worked retail, food service, but yet your ultimate career is to do something like becoming a teacher or becoming a designer or something like that. And yet your experience in the past isn't quite fitting that yet. And that's why you're going to school and maybe eventually transferring and looking for internships in the future so you can gain that experience. I understand that for some of you you might not have direct experience related to this job posting. But what I want you to think about are the skills that you might have that may pertain. And I just want you to get in the practice of creating a resume specifically for this job posting. So even if you don't have direct experience, maybe, in the past when I was in college, I did work for Carnival Cruise Lines and I did office work for a law firm. And that wasn't the career I was interested in going into at all. So my experience really didn't directly relate to psychology or counseling, but I still had to create a resume to show, hey, I've gained some skills in the jobs that I have held in the past. So not to worry if you feel like, oh, this is a total stretch from what I've been doing. That's expected until you get further in your education and training. And so what you're going to eventually do is upload your resume to this assignment. Here's the grading rubric. So I want you to pay very close attention to this left-hand column under exceptional, because if you follow all of the areas here and make sure that you're meeting all of these areas here on the left-hand side, you're going to get full points because you're creating an exceptional resume. So keep that in mind, that if you make sure you are falling under this left-hand column, then you are creating a pretty great resume. And again, keep in mind the examples that you can look at on the Career Center website and the different types of resumes. Again, for some of you who maybe don't have direct previous job experience that relates to the position you're looking at, you might be creating more of a functional resume. So there's a few different types of resumes. The most common is chronological. Chronological is taking and listing all the jobs positions that you've held in reverse order. So whatever your current job is, you would list that at the top of the page, and then you'd work backwards. What job you held before that, and the job you held previous to that, and you're just listing chronologically the different job positions that you've held and the different skills that you acquired and what you were good at in that job position. For some of you, though, you might be looking more at a functional resume. So maybe you don't have a lot of experience and you've had just limited job positions in the past because you've been in high school or you're starting out in college. And so you want to think of, if I haven't held certain job positions, still what skills do I have? Did I hold leadership in high school? Was I a part of a sports team? Different skills that you've obtained that can go into a functional resume. Your textbook, by the way, on pages 200, I want to say 202 to 204, 202 to 204 in the textbook have some really great, again, examples of resume templates. So that's your resume assignment for the next 2 weeks. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Again, I'm here to help you out as always.